magic and explore the most. Stories full of wonder, fantastical delights. Open your eyes and see the parade come to life. Sensei's parade, Sensei's parade. Join the parade, Sensei's parade, parade. Sensei's parade, Sensei's parade. Join the parade, Sensei's parade.
Chapter 7. Wasteland Medicine and Hygiene. The next morning you check on your cooled jars of tallow. You're quite happy with the amount of grease you are able to get out of the bear. Since it's early in the season, the bear didn't have much fat on him to begin with. Thing probably was fresh out of hibernation. You still managed to get 6 good-sized jars of the stuff. You've already planned out what each jar is going to be used for. The first jar always goes to Sprout for cooking. 2 jars will go to making a batch of soap. You've already collected and sifted the wood ash from the kitchen wood stove in a bucket and filled it with water. In a few days you'll have some nice lye water to make soap with. 1 jar will be stored in your shop for waterproofing leather. Bear grease is particularly good for that. Another jar will be kept in the house as an emergency supply. The last jar, however, is today's task. You're going to be making 3 small jars of green healing ointment to sell at the trading post. Blue and Stretch have already left back to the woods to bring you back with some broadleaf plantain plants. A shiver of excitement runs through you. If you play your cards right, you could get a bidding war going on. Healing ointment only lasts several months and winter just ended. There's a high chance that if anyone has any ointment left, it's gone rancid by now. An early season bear grease-based healing ointment? The best available oil to mix with herbal medicine because of its own properties? Jackpot. By the time Blue and Stretch return with a small basket of plantain, your outdoor wood stove is hot and ready. You have a metal cookpot on the edge of the stove, warming the bear grease. In a pail of clean water, you wash off the leaves and some of the flower stalks. You're careful to remove all dirt and debris. Chopping up the cleaned plantain pieces, you mix them into the cook pot. Now the mixture just has to cook on low heat, stirring every few minutes with a wood spoon, until almost lunchtime. Then it's as simple as straining the liquid equally between the 3 small jars and sealing them. As you gently stir, you look around the homestead with a feeling of normalcy. Sprout is weeding his 2 large gardens with Blue and Happy. They chat idly. It looks like Sprout and Blue are separating the weeds between edible and toxic. Happy looks interestingly at their weed piles and asks many questions, in much the same style as Blue did the day before. A small spark of pride fills you at Blue's progress in learning plants. Near the house, Red seems to be instructing Gold to draw something specific. Raz shouts at Red every time Red gets upset at Gold and makes him erase a part of his drawing. Despite the bickering of Red and Raz, Gold appears to be in his element. You find yourself curious as to what they're working on. The newly dubbed hunter checks on the smokehouse regularly, taking careful measures that the meat inside is cured properly and the smoke levels are just right for drying. You're not surprised that he would be skilled in the preservation of meats. Hunter and Axe are already proficient in survival. If those 2 ever need to leave their homestead, you have full confidence they would live. You wish the rest of the skeletons would take a page out of their book. Axe is always working, even when he looks like he's slacking off. As a zombie quickly hobbles close to the fence line, Axe, in one swing, decapitates it and drags the body to the burn pit. A second before he looked to be napping under a tree. Since he's been put on daylight patrol duty, not one zombie has made it within 50 feet of the wood fence. He's supposed to trade shifts with Scout at night, but Scout has mentioned seeing Axe clearing out zombies at night, too. Hopefully, the Bone Boy isn't overworking himself and is finding time to actually sleep. It will be counterproductive otherwise. Sounds of tinkering come from the garage next to you. Vanilla, Russ, Stretch, and Scout use most of their awake daylight hours to work on the machine. The hum of the foundry tells you Scout is using up the last of his smelting metals to cast some parts. Scout is sure to have a list of materials for you to look for at the trader. Edge and Black spar away from the house. Their moves are deliberate and honed. You'll need to see about finding suitable weapons for them. A few ideas come to mind, watching their styles. When the sun is almost at its highest point, you take the cook pot off the heat and strain the green-infused oil into the 3 jars. You pop the strained pulp into your mouth as a snack after getting out every drop of liquid you can. Sealing the jars, they are ready. After lunch, they should be cool enough to sell. Which means, it's time to get ready to make a run. You clean out the cookpot with a piece of soap and some rainwater from one of the collection barrels around the homestead. The clean pot goes back onto the stove filled with clean water to warm. While the water heats, you head into the house. Gold hides his drawing and goes to another part of the yard to finish it as you pass by. What's with the secrecy? Entering the boys and your room, you ruffle through some of the few clothing options you have. As always, not much to choose from. Picking out the least shabby shirt and pants you have, you grab a couple clean rags and a bone hairpick Scout carved for you and head back outside to your shed. Bath time, a necessary step before any trading post visit. A clean person has a better chance of negotiating a better deal. You set up behind the shed. Not really private, but better than nothing. The pot of warm water sits on a cut log, while your fresh clothes are off to the side. You remove your armor pieces and shirt. Using the same bar of soap you used to wash the pot and a rag, you first clean your face. You lean over and dunk your hair into the pot and give it a good scrub with the soap bar. The water is already turning murky. How long has it been since you last washed your hair, anyways? As you're rising your hair, you hear movement behind you. Your eyes flick towards your clothes where your pistol is. "Damn, sweetheart," comes Red's voice. "Didn't realize I was missing out on a show." Wringing out your hair, you glance behind you from under your arm. Red is openly staring at your bare back, red tongue out, and drooling. You roll your eyes and chuck a wet cloth at his face. He doesn't even dodge as the rag hits him in the skull. You toss your patchwork torso piece at him. "No free shows," you say, composed and unbathed. "Clean my armor if you're just going to stand there and stare." Red takes that as he's welcome to stay. The drool increases and he watches you give yourself a sponge bath. His eyes greedily dart between the bones protruding out from your ribcage and your spine. Scars of different types cover your back. He wonders if he could touch them. Would you mind? You don't appear to care in the slightest. He's watching you. Very little of your armor gets wiped down. He freezes as you remove your pants, boots and socks. Magical sweat covers his skull. "Okay, now you have to be fucking with him, right? No one just takes off their pants in front of a guy without some sort of expectation, right?" He knows that most humans don't get the sock thing with skeletons, but pants are different. This world can't be that different from his, right? There's no way you're seducing him, right? Damn, you can practically see your skeleton in the muscle structure right through your skin. Red finds himself biting his tongue and taking a step towards you. So vulnerable. Would you mind if he just? A hand firmly clamps down onto Red's shoulder. Red drops your armor, that he totally didn't forget he was holding, as his eye lights go out. "Oh, shit. Friend," Sprout says with a tight smile. His grip on Red's shoulder tightens. "Care to explain what we're looking at?" "Sans," shouts Edge, hands on his hips. "That's highly inappropriate." Red snaps out of his stupor and whips around to his brother. "You're inappropriate." "What?" "I am not. I'm highly appropriate. For every situation." You continue bathing yourself as if nothing is happening behind you. Part of you wonders if Red somehow got the wrong idea. All you want to do is get clean before lunch and hit up the trading post. They act like they've never seen someone clean themselves before. Surely they've seen animals clean themselves before, right? What kind of world did they grow up in, anyway? Do they not bathe? That's disgusting. You're looking too, boss. They apostrophe where you can hear them, right? I am not. Besides, look at her. Nice hypocrisy there, Edge. Not a curve on her. What could you possibly be getting out of this? You frown as you buff yourself with a dry rag. It was a hard winter. Good luck finding any humans with a lick of fat on them. If you're all quite done, says Sprout, cutting off the brother's line of sight to you. He crosses his arms and looks unimpressed at them. I suggest you stop ogling my best friend and start heading over to the house before lunch gets cold. I can assure you, she's not bathing for your entertainment. A grin twitches to your face. See? Your paps gets it. Why on earth would you allow your human to? You tune out the squabbling behind you. Now dressed in clean clothes, you run the bone pick through your hair. As nice as it feels on your scalp, you don't bother styling your hair too much. The motorcycle is just going to whip it how it likes anyway. The pot of water is brown with grime. Still usable to wipe down your armor pieces though. Taking a damp rag, you clean off your braces, followed by your boots. Not clean enough to eat off of, but they look presentable now. You dump out the dirty water. Pulling your braces and boots on, you decide against wearing your torso piece to the trader. Buyers and sellers get antsy when someone is heavily armed and armored. You'll leave your rifle behind, too, as an extra precaution. Geez, are those boys still bickering? Oi, you say to get their attention. 3 sets of eyes realize you're now decent. Quit arguing and go get some food, you say grabbing your torso piece off the ground. You throw it up on a clothesline and pick up your bathing area. Anything for you, sweetheart, winks Red. Edge scowls and smacks his brother before hauling him off to the house. Oh, yes, says Sprout, handing you a piece of paper. Brother and the others working on the machine wanted me to give you this list of stuff. I also added a thing or two if you can get it. You nod, glancing over the list. It's about what you expect. Scouts looking for machine components and metal. Sprouts looking for more salt, seasonings, and a new sword? You glance up at his sword on his back. It's well cared for and still in really good condition. The grin on his face, however, tells you the item is not for him. Ah, you understand now. I'll do what I can, Paps. Let's get food. Of course.
I'm glad you enjoyed that video/gameplay. Just remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Until next time, goodbye!